Okay guys, welcome. We are here today doing a hail and wind inspection. We're out here in Maryland. Today we got a nice house here. Looks like we got a two-story. There's a couple of strikes that we know have hit on the left elevation here. We're going to work our way around. We're going to check out the roof when we get up there later on. So come out here, take a look with me. I'll show you guys exactly how we do this step by step. So we're here on the left elevation of the house. We found a few things here on the soft metals of the gutter. This is something you can check out for to verify hail on the properties. There's already some pretty evident markings that we have, but we're going to take our chalk to expose out these indentations that let you know exactly where your hail hits are. That's confirming the damages to this downspout. Move over to this garage door wrap. This is also a soft metal. This is also damaged by hail, so this is something that you will want to add into your claim. So we want to put this in our scope so that our estimators will be able to perfectly mark down exactly what we're working with here. We also have a soft metal that's also on the garage. However, this is a little bit more thickness than what we have on our downspouts and our garage door wrap, but we will still inspect the entire length of the garage door. So we did not find any evidence of hail damage to the actual garage door. What we do see signs of is hail splatter. Now, when it comes to hail splatter, that does not mean this is actually needs to be replaced, but it does show signs that hail actually did hit within this area, and it still can be cosmetic damages. A few more examples of that here, where it comes to this electrical panel box. You can see the markings of the hail hits. When it comes to hail for vinyl siding, normally you're looking for breaks, divots, or certain indentations of hail hits when it comes to the vinyl siding. Sometimes these hails impact the siding where it actually causes it to break, such as a rupture you would see here with on the window wrap. See, there was also an additional hit. This part right here is indicative of a hail hit. So we want to make sure we mark this corner wrap up when it comes to our scope as well. Okay guys, so we're still working on the left elevation of this home. We've already know exactly what we're going to be working with as far as our scope. So now we're going to go ahead and grab our photos. This is very important. This is going to show the adjuster exactly the story that we're telling them. So first, grab a photo of the entire left elevation so they know exactly where I'm working off of first. Now that we've got our elevation photo, we want to move in, full overview of the garage door. We're going to move in as well and go back to our areas of damage. We're going to move back again to our downspout here so that they know we're still on the left elevation, to the corner siding of the vinyl, and get a photo of that as well. As I mentioned to you previously before, we did have evidence of splatter marks on the electrical panel. Although we would not be replacing anything on this panel, we still would like to just show this for our storytelling. The window wrap here, close in of the damage. I'm going to move back out. We want to make sure our photos are clear, they're not blurry, where it actually shows the evidence that we're looking to support. So that's why, again, we use our chalk here to use better photos to help support the evidence of hail damage to the property. Again, we're looking to tell a story here, so we want to make sure we're doing our part to illustrate that. So as of right now, we're done with this elevation as far as scoping the loss. What we would like to do next is move around in a clockwise position until we arrive back at this point. We want to make sure we're taking care of everything as far as the exterior siding before we hop up on the roof. We don't want to be up and down everywhere on this place because that just makes it for areas where we can be forgetful of where exactly we were when we were scoping this loss. We are leaving the left elevation. We're moving to the rear elevation now. The downspout will be the first area we will want to scope. And as you can see, there are multiple hail hits on this downspout. So far, what this story tells me is that when this hailstorm had occurred, this came in from the left elevation of the property. Seeing as though we were on the left elevation, that right-hand side corner had hail damage. This left rear side has hail damage as well. We want to make sure we're checking all soft metals. That's including of AC units because those can take on damages. You will be looking for splatter marks as well as damages to the fins. As of right now, we don't see anything as far as splatter marks or damage to the fins. They look to be in great condition. We'll focus back on the siding and window wraps. On this rear elevation, we can see more evidence of splatter marks. This lets us know that we're still in the right area of where this hailstorm hit. So we're right on the money here. Take a look at what we have. I'm going to go right adjacent to those splatter marks where we have our soft metals of the downspout. I can already see a few indentations here of hail damage. Going to put our chalk to the side again, and I've just exposed multiple hail heads. So now that we've moved from corner to corner of this rear elevation, we're going to go ahead and take a full photo of this exterior elevation to show exactly what side we're working on. We're going to move into the areas we marked in, take a quick overview photo of the location, and we're going to move in to show the damages that we've marked up. Although the splatter marks are only cosmetic, we're still going to take a photo of this because this tells our story of where the hail damage actually occurred on the property. Again, we're going to get our photo here of this downspout. Make sure we get an overview of it to show this is a different downspout on this rear elevation. The reason why I like taking such detailed photos is not only does it help tell the story, but it also saves a lot of time and questions that comes back from you when the insurance adjusters are wondering, or the homeowners are wondering, where are these close-ups? Now that we have an overview as well as the close-ups, they know exactly which side of the house we're working on. We're still working on the rear elevation of the property. However, we're working more so on the left side. We found that this area does not have any evidence of hail markings under the wrap of the porch. We're still going to just document it by showing a photo of this elevation that we did take a look here. However, although we did not find any damage to the actual siding of the home on this part of the rear elevation, does not mean that we would not find any damage possibly to the gutter or this downspout. We actually did find some evidence of some more damage here. We're going to mark this up on the downspout, get an elevation shot, and we want to go ahead and grab our close-ups. Okay, team, we have finished up here on the rear elevation. We're going to move over to the right elevation now. We've marked up all of our areas of damage on the rear. The location of the hail was coming in on the left side of the property, so we're not expecting to find much damage here on this right side. However, we still want to make sure we do a thorough inspection. This is on the promise that we're taking care of the customer as well as the insurance companies. What we're checking for again is our evidence of hail damage. Checking out our soft metals, we can look for evidence of splash marks left behind from the hail. I'm not seeing too much evidence on this side as much as we've seen on the rear and left elevation of the property. So what we want to do is just take an elevation photo to show that we were here. Now what we can also do, if there's any questions about whether there's damage on this side, we can take a photo of the soft metals. And what we would do is add a caption under this photo to let them know we did not find any evidence on this elevation. Here is the evidence of soft metals on this elevation to also support that we found no additional damages of hail. Okay, team, we are back here again on the front elevation. We've worked our way fully around. We want to check out for these soft metals, chips within the vinyl siding, as well as even on this vinyl porch wrap, there's potential for damages of hail. They do show signs of splatter, which helps us, again, know exactly where we're identifying as far as the hail locations. We know there's going to be grime and residue. When the hail comes in, it's actually going to really expose these areas. It's going to knock away a little bit of that for you. Since we have confirmed our splatter marks here on this column, what we want to do is go ahead and check each individual column here for potential hail damage. There's a soft metal for a downspout. We're going to go ahead and check that as well. I can already see a few areas where hail has hit. There's no such thing as too much evidence. This is our last soft metal on the front elevation. So you know what we're going to do next? You've guessed it. We're going to go ahead and take a photo of the front elevation. We're going to move back into our area of the soft metal to the evidence of the hail damage. Okay, now that we're done with our full lower level elevation scoping as far as the hail damages, what we're going to do is make sure we have every single detail jotted down so that we're able to scope this back. We can able to clearly read the story over to our estimator as well as the homeowner and the insurance company. Now I know we do utilize different third-party systems such as Hover or EagleView in order for us to be able to get measurements of the property, but what I like to do as well is I like to go ahead and get my own measurements to show exactly what we're working with as far as the downspouts, corner pieces as well. We had an evidence of hail damage, 2 inches of garage door wrapping here. Again, that's something that we're going to scope over to our estimator. This only helps them out to know exactly the materials we're working with. Okay guys, so we're finished again with our lower elevation scoping. What we're going to do now is we're going to take the ladder up to the roof shingles. We're also going to check up the additional siding once we're on the roof. This way we can capture the entire scope of loss today. I like to maximize my time here. I don't want to be going up and down for my tools and less travel up and down the ladder. You want to make sure you plan this out while we're on the ground. So I can see we can get on top of this garage slope roof as well as the porch roof. When it comes to the second story dwelling roof, it is a bit steep. I believe this is a 10-12 pitch, so it's not quite walkable for me at this time. However, I can see that there's evidence from the ground of windstorm damage. We want to make sure we capture that not only for the homeowner, but for the insurance company. We're moving up to the roof, but before we step on, there's a few things we want to check out. We're going to make sure we confirm that this is only one layer of shingles on the roof and not additional layers. If there are additional layers, make sure we inform our estimator and the insurance company. That way they can also put that in our scope of work. We also want to check for any drip edge here, which we do have evidence of. There's drip edge installed. While I'm up here, I'm also going to take our tape measure. I'm going to measure out the length of these gutters. This is our 5-inch gutters that we have here. Pitch gauge. This is a 3/12 pitch. That means this is a very walkable roof for us. Lastly, what I also like to do is get our shingle gauge out. We don't have to force it in so much because our gauge will read for us. So you can see the years here of it. Yeah. So it's going to be a 50-year laminate shingle. What I also like to check for, once we're here, is inside of the gutters that can tell a quick story for us. If there is going to be a lot of evidence of windstorm damage or hail damage on the property, what we will find sometimes is you're going to find a lot of granules inside from the shingles in the gutters because that's where they'll fall to collectively. Okay, team, we're now on the front porch elevation here. What we're going to do again is continue with the siding before we move on to the roofing, just to make sure we're staying within our scope. I'm not seeing too much on the actual front elevation. No cracks, no splatter or indications of hail damage at this time. We're also going to check for window screens. Those also help tell a story. Right now, I don't see any streak marks left from hail, so we're going to continue just to move our way across. We're not seeing too much evidence of actual hail splatter or hits here. So what we're going to do is move our way across to this corner area. This is going to take us to the upper left elevation. And as you can see, the evidence is pretty straightforward here that we have splatter marks on the vinyl siding, damage to the vinyl siding, as well as hits on this downspout. We knew from below this was where a lot of the hail hits were hitting. So we're going to go ahead and mark this up. Step back as much as possible, get this entire downspout within the shot. We've also captured the splatter marks of the vinyl siding within the same shot during our close-ups. Now that is sufficient evidence of hail damage. When we go ahead and submit our estimate for replacement of this vinyl siding, we're looking to bring this homeowner to pre-loss condition. So we're going to go exactly with the type of siding that we have here originally. So what we want to do is get a quick measurement. We're going to go from the top piece to the bottom piece here. All right, that's going to be 10 inches. Since we do have evidence of splatter marks on this siding, we want to go ahead and check out for the gutters as well. Typically, we will find if there's evidence of hail damage on the siding, there's possible damage to the gutters. We do have a confirmed hail hit here to the gutter, so we're going to make sure we go ahead and take a picture of this. While we're here, we can also see the soft metals on this fascia are also pretty beat up by the hail. So we're going to go ahead and take our chalk and mark this up while we're out here also. Okay guys, so we moved over from the siding. We're now going to take a look at the shingles themselves. So we're going to go by slope by slope. This particular roof we have on, I believe, has more than 12 plus different facets. So what we're going to do is do a 10 by 10 test square. Within this test square, I want to try to count as many hail hits to the roof as possible. As you can see, we've already marked up a few. We're also going to find as many as we can within our test square here. So for this particular slope, we have one here, another here. And I'm sure as time goes by, we'll find quite a few within this area. So we can see a few others here. And I just seen another one here. Okay, so far within our test square, we have found 9 hail hits to just this one slope only. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark this up. We're going to take our slope here. We're going to identify the slope that we're on. And everybody's a bit different, but for me, for my purposes of this, I like to go with F for the front. This is the front slope that we're on, and I would like to go with L. Front left slope is the slope that we're on. So we have a front lower slope as well, but I'm going to make this one FL1. This will be FL2. This lets me know we're on the second story. Exactly the area that we're working with. We have hail. We'll do H for hail. We have 9 hits within this test square alone, but we've only caught 9 ourselves. That does not mean that there isn't more. So what we would do is do 9 with a plus. 9 plus hail hits on this slope. We have not found any windstorm damage on this slope. Even though we haven't found wind, we will mark it down for W for wind, 0. Additionally, let them know what accessories might be on this slope. As of right now, this is the front. We don't have too much going on, but we can see that they do have a ridge vent here. So we will mark down that they do have a ridge vent for RV. We do a Y for yes. That lets us know that there is a ridge vent on the roof. If there wasn't a ridge vent, we will put N for no ridge vent. Now that we've securely marked up and scoped our slope here, we're going to get a clear overview of this entire slope as much as possible. Now we're going to go in, take a picture of my test square first, because when I'm doing these photos, I want them to stay organized. So I'm going to take a photo of the test square so I know where I'm starting. And now I can get close-ups of each individual hail hits under this test square. That yellow chalk I'm using is for that front upper slope. I'm going to switch over to my red chalk for the front lower slope. This will be FL1. Same thing how we did on the other slope. We're going to mark for hail. And so far we've found 8 plus hail hits on this slope. Wind, 0. Okay, there is no additional accessories. This is a front porch roof slope, so we expect that. However, if there was any additional accessories, we would also mark that here. We're going to take a quick picture of the slope, get an overview of it as best as possible, and we're going to do a couple of zoom ins. And another reason why we marked this in a secondary chalk color is so they know we're on a different part of the roof. Okay guys, we've completed our test square and scoping of all the available slopes to us on this front elevation. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we grabbed all of our tools. We're going to make sure we capture everything as far as our photos. We don't want to keep getting up and down on this additional slope. We want to do this as a one and done. So now we're on the rear lower slope. This is the second story of it. So we named this slope RL2. This is going to be our RL1. We'll go to that one once we're finished here. But as you can see, we've already indicated 10 plus hail hits on this slope alone. This supports replacement of the actual damaged shingles on this roof slope. One thing I wanted to point out since we came up here, we have additional splatter to our siding. Not only that, but we see some windstorm damage actually pop this out here. It's not actually damaged, but this is something that we can go ahead and fix now that we're up here. We're at the tail end of this inspection. So what we would like to do at this time is that we're going to verify that we actually have everything needed in order for this inspection to be complete. We want to go over the photos that we have. Photos are clear, readable, and most importantly, we have every area of evidence that we would like to support for this claim. What we also want to do is go over our scope again. I made sure to jot it down. We have damage from siding, soft metals, downspouts. We have about 11 total downspouts of damage. Garage wrapping, siding of the corner pieces here, siding on the second level here, shingles all around on the front upper, front lower, rear upper, and rear lower. We also tackled the garage roof slope. We confirmed damage there as well. So now that we have those confirmed, we want to make sure we have enough efficient photos in order to capture our hover report. Again, that hover report is very important, and make sure we provide accurate measurements, not only to us, for the homeowner, as well as the insurance. We have our full scope, we have our photos. We're going to go back over to the homeowner. Since they're the ones who filed the claim, I like to speak with the homeowner, maybe get an idea of exactly what damages alerted them to file a claim, just so I can make sure I tackled those within my scope of work as well. It's nothing more embarrassing than to see you go back and do a claim and you say there's no damages, and then you find that the homeowner has a list of damages that you missed. So do go ahead and cover yourself by having a quick talk with the homeowner and let them also know what you found during your inspection. I'm sure they'll be happy about it.